All right, let's dive into your Plazm health report for day 86. And what a difference a day makes. After the huge stress test of day 85, the board is flashing green, and it looks like the protocol is officially in recovery mode. So let's break down what that really means.
Okay, before we get into all the good stuff, just the usual reminder, this is all for educational purposes. It is absolutely not financial advice. Please always do your own research. So, yesterday was a massive, massive stress test for the whole system. And the big question on everyone's mind has been, okay, after a storm like that, what does a healthy recovery even look like? Well, today, we're getting our answer. And that answer starts with something we all needed, a collective sigh of relief, as the market responds with a really strong Green Day bounce. From the lows we saw yesterday, the Plazm token has already bounced back a very, very healthy 7.8%. I mean, that's the immediate good news right there. It's a clear signal that the market didn't just survive the storm, it's actively pushing back. And this isn't just a Plazm story, which is great to see. The recovery is happening protocol-wide. We've got both the core token and the governance token, eSHARE, solidly in the green. Plazm sitting around 5.8 cents, up over 6.5%, and eShare is trading at 12.25, up over 4%. This is exactly what a coordinated, healthy recovery looks like. So, what's behind this bounce? Well, it's pretty simple. A massive drop in pressure. Yesterday, the protocol had to absorb a colossal 474,000 token release. Today, that number just fell off a cliff, down to only 124,000. That is a 74% decrease, and it gave the market the breathing room it desperately needed to rally. But look, while the price bounce is awesome news, it's not the main event. Not by a long shot. The real story, the most incredible part of what's happening, is the relentless, accelerating token burn. Just let this number sink in for a second. In the last 48 hours alone, right through the peak of that stress test and into the recovery, nearly 47,000 PLSM tokens were just permanently destroyed, gone forever. That is an absolutely extraordinary figure. And this just shows you the blistering pace. 2 days ago, we were at 126,000 total burned. Yesterday, 147,000. And today, we've blown past 173,000. That's another 26,700 tokens wiped out in just 24 hours. So the burn mechanism didn't just survive the stress, it slammed on the accelerator. And this is so important because every token burned creates a supply shock, making every remaining token that much more scarce. And here's why that matters. The burned supply has now officially crossed the 4% threshold of the total supply. Just 2 days ago, that number was sitting at 3%. We are literally watching in real time as this deflationary engine becomes a bigger and more powerful force in the entire system. So you have to ask, right? What's powering this incredible defense? Well, let's take a look at the engine room and see how the protocol is actually funding this fight. The answer really starts with accumulating more of these yield-generating assets. You can think of these bonds like investments that the protocol is making for itself. And in just the last day, it added another 53 of them to its treasury. We're now at a total of 6,076. And of course, more bonds mean more yield. Yesterday, that engine generated about $263 in profit. Today, that number's jumped up to $396. That is fresh, real yield that goes directly into powering the buy and burn pools. Now, to put that into perspective, that is a 50% increase in daily yield generation in a single day. This isn't just a small step up. This is the engine scaling up in a big way, getting more powerful and more capable of defending the protocol. It really is a simple but incredibly powerful feedback loop. The protocol buys more bonds, which generate more yield, which then directly funds stronger buy and burn defenses. This is the flywheel that got the protocol through day 85. Okay, so we know new tokens were released, and the total supply did go up a bit. But where did those new tokens actually end up? Let's take a closer look. So here's the snapshot of the 4.08 million Plazm supply right now. About half of it is liquid, ready to trade. 30% is staked, meaning it's locked up earning rewards. 16% is in liquidity pools, helping trades go smoothly. And then there's that growing slice, 4%, that's been burned forever. Now this is where we see real holder conviction. Those newly released tokens didn't just get dumped on the market. Nope. Instead, over 20,000 of them went straight into staking. That's a vote of long-term confidence. Another 15,500 went to deepen the liquidity pools, making the market stronger. And of course, we already know that over 26,000 were burned. This isn't panic. This is a sign of a healthy, engaged community.
The protocol passed yesterday's test with flying colors, but it's really important to stay measured here and look at what's coming down the pipeline.
As we look at the next 7 days, you can see the releases are going to stay pretty high. Tomorrow brings another 364,000 tokens. But the next date you really want to circle on your calendar is day 94. That's the next major cliff, with over 424,000 tokens set for release. It's going to be another big stress test for sure.
So, after weighing all the data, from the bounce to the burns to the engine room getting stronger, what is the final call on the health of the protocol for day 86?
The verdict is pretty clear. A healthy recovery is definitely underway. And maybe more importantly, the burn mechanism isn't just working, it's accelerating. The price is up, staking is up, yield is up, and that burn rate, it's just phenomenal. Let's just end on this thought. The protocol took the hit from yesterday's stress test and bounced right back today. The burns are on an absolute rampage. If this past week proved anything, it's that Plazm's defense mechanics are working exactly as they were designed to.
And as always, please remember, this is not financial advice. It's for education only. Never ever invest more than you can afford to lose, and always do your own research before making any decisions. Thanks for tuning in.